Bum, 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 bum. Yo, we're back. Let me set up the stream real quick, set up some other stuff. Hopefully I should be a little more high energy today. You know, after these past few days, I'm feeling a little bit better after yesterday. And so we'll see how, energized I can be. Unfortunately for me, there is construction going on outside my house right now that is really fucking annoying, and apparently is fucking up the water in my house, like, really badly, so I don't know what we're gonna do about that for the next while, for however long this lasts. We'll fucking see, I guess. Like, the water is all yucky. It's not good. It looks real bad. Let me just get out my twat quick. I set up I set up all the stuff and then I just like forgot to do a blue sky post about it. There we go. Oh shit, why am I sad? Well, I know why I'm sad in real life, but why am I sad in fake life? Why am I depressed here? How do I... No, that's like overly happy. That's like way too... No, that doesn't fix anything. Okay, there we go. There was a combo of buttons I had to push in order to get the facial expression correct again. Alright, let's go to the prison and talk to Varen Bond, defendant. Look at the boy. There he is. He killed Gregson, even though we know he didn't. We know Ashley's the one who killed Gregson. Is that the GIF not working? Is the GIF just not working today? Actually, like that. No, not today. This is when the GIF would make the best joke. What the fuck? What? How do I fix this? Oh, son of a bitch. Why are you not working now of all times? This is like the perfect time for you to work. You son of a bitch. God damn it. Lord Van Zeke's behind bars. They let him keep his drip. So it's true. He really was arrested. He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zeeks. Actually, I think you'll notice that you're the defendant today. And that I'm your attorney. Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be. With the last people on Earth I'd like to see. You know how much I hate the Japanese. I can't very well not come. Like, dude, come on. Don't you know we're soul-linked by now? I can't just leave you alone. You've heard what happened, that Inspector Gregson was killed for a second time. If only I had my gift to show what happened to him the first time he died, but it's not fucking working. Might get... it's not going to. Goddamn. Fucking jeez. Go home. This has nothing to do with you. But, it clearly does. No one else is gonna be the attorney in this case. Forgive me, Lord Van Zieks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find the truth about his death. You must help us with our investigations, please. There's really nothing I can tell you. What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case? No, it was a book, you fucking morons. This? Oh, you mean this note that's clearly relevant to the case? No, it has nothing to do with the case. The art isn't quite so cavalier with its information as to share case details with the suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance. Oh, who might that be? Well, you see. Someone you know, as it happens. Albert Hairbrain. He's telling me that he's dead. Of course, yes, I keep forgetting that they went to the same university. You know, I keep forgetting relevant facts that were, like, important one case ago. I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zieks never minces his words. But they seem to have a less bite than usual. It's almost like he's in a bad situation. And it's like, we'll take what he can get. Alright, well... As always with this game, it seems like we have two different cases going on that will undeniably meet in the middle somewhere later on. Can you at least tell us your side of the story? What happened? Why'd you kill him? I mean, we know you did it. How much do you already know? Basically nothing. We know nothing about this case. We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street, and that you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested. We were told that there was nobody else in the room and there were some witnesses heard the gunshot. Then you're well informed. There's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. You see, I wasn't even there. Secretly, I was also not at the crime scene. But my ghost was. I've been dead the whole time. But the gunshot, obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? Well, I did. I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. Well, unless, you know, they're of a specific ethnic background, but, you know, Gregson wasn't. I also heard the noise. However, before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. We doesn't actually know what happened. If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with? Oh, you know, fucking around. Finding out. I don't need to answer that. Look, I don't need to tell you about my secret affair with Gregson. It's unimportant. Oh. After all, you're not representing me. You gonna need a lawyer, though? Not from you. Ah, come on, you know that's a lost cause. We're gonna defend you no matter what you say. Ah, who is going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zieks? literally anyone other than you, I should imagine. Literally anyone else I'll take. Fucking, I'll represent myself and have myself thrown in the gallows. You think I care? Aw, man. You're so mean to me. Would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as of yet? Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. Now, you're getting reaped. You're gonna die no matter what you do. Yay! In my career, all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now. Surely not. I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. But you don't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, do you? I mean, why would ya? It's just a funny little coinky-dink. It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I, however. It seems things may come to a head before I have a chance to uncover the truth about that. What do you mean by that? Could you stop fake posting for a while? Like, come on, man. Just tell me what you're going on about. After the trial, Professor Harebrained was supposed to go straight back to Germany. It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and by rail. It's a relief, I must say. I should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper. Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean? You see, the curse doesn't follow people across the sea. Once they're out of England, they're just like, no-go zone. You can't fucking bother with it, you know? Yes, so it seems. Your stooped little Nipponese friend, for example. You told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day. Yeah, that's right, he's fine. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. So, Professor Harebrained is safely back in Germany now, yay! He is. Well, time for him to die of mysterious circumstances that have nothing to do with the Reaper. So it appears our conversation has run dry. There was a 2-second silence, that's all. More than enough. Get out of my fucking face. Please die. Please never live again. You'll excuse me now. I wouldn't like to detain you. I was wondering, Lord Van Ziegel. If you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you. What are you talking about? I already stated that you are the last person I'd like to have. What do you mean? You trust me, do you? Yes! I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. Like shit. But you know, you're probably not a murderer because they like put too much effort into your design and like, here's the thing, I know that at the end of the day, the only reason you're the defendant here is so that they can get a Sogi into the prosecution desk, you know? It's just the natural evolution of things. It's just, my feelings can't be used as evidence in a court of law, sadly. Even though they really should. My feelings are pretty great. It's a very generous offer, however. I trust no one. Especially not the Nipponese! Like, he just gets exponentially pissed off. What? Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you Nipponese. But please, pretty please, I want to represent you so that we have another trial. I have no intention of engaging your services. I'm not paying you shit. Well, don't worry, most of my defendants don't actually pay me anything, it's fine. The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep. Oh, so deep. I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Then neither of us will waste any more time. Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper and find out more about Lord Van Zieks and what happened to Inspector Gregson. Perhaps we should actually figure out what the fuck is even going on in this case, like, at all. Cause, like, we don't have that yet. Where are those frames turned around? God, I need to wake the fuck up. Why is it that, like, before I start streaming, I will be wide awake, ready for action. The second I click start streaming, all of a sudden it's like, sleepy time. You're Yanni now. Yanni Yogi. This really is an out-of-the-way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. So this dust-ridden, rented, old room is where it happened, then. So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life. Oh, and you can see he was pretending to be a redhead in the corner. Yes, and the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. I don't see Mr. Shlomes anywhere, though. Perhaps this investigation may have taken him elsewhere. Or perhaps he's disguised as that guy over to the right there. What do you think you're doing there? Every one of them drawers is gonna be taken right out if you don't look underneath them all. I want the space above this ceiling checked, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack too. Blimey, ain't you lot never done a house looking for dough when your owners are out of town? Ginny has got some investigative technique she wants everyone to adopt. Yo, pouty girl, she's back to pouting. Oh, so you turned up at last, mind you. I haven't been here long myself. Hello again, Ginna. Shlomes has only just left. You're lucky you missed that. You weren't prancing round in here, pointing at stuff and flickering that out of its then just scampered. God, I suck at reading her dialogue. I am so bad at reading what the fuck she's saying. Oh, he's finished investigating already, you mean? Yeah. He didn't stop to say nothing to no one, not even me. You know, would you mind if we investigated too? Listen, Odo. You're a law, right? Yeah? Why? Oh, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are you? Oh. Well, yeah, duh. That's my thing. She's never gonna forget, is she? That trial will haunt her forever. The one where Gregson died. If you don't mind me saying, if Lord Van Zieks really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court. I suppose you're right, yeah. Go on then, Odo. Get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened here. Thank you, Ginna. Thanks for bringing your music back. It's a little cutie. Oh, I can't investigate why these are fucked up? Alright, well, like, this guy's clearly suspicious. No one else has a cape. There's a little toy policeman. The policeman, they got a toy here. Alright, best we got is the fireplace. We might as well investigate everything. An empty fireplace makes the room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it? It's thick with dust, look. So it's not empty. You fucking lied to me, Naruhodo. You piece of shit. I think it would be fair to say it hasn't been used in a very long time. In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather. Or nobody lived here at all and merely visited when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely. No, that's right. It's one or the other. Ugh. Fuck. Alright, there we go. So who's this photo? Who dis? Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of one of the Inspector Gregson's family members. What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head. They are. Look, Mr. Naruhodo, quickly. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, so this is all connected once again. Good, good, good. Why do I feel like this woman is familiar somehow? Why does it feel like I talked to this woman literally like 30 minutes ago? Of course she's familiar. We met her only this morning. Well, we didn't meet her only this morning. Miss Vigil. This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Miss Vigil in here? To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped. Well, you see, this is the room that belonged to her husband that he went away to when he was hiding from her and pretending he had a different job. I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either. The framed photograph has been entered into the court record. Photographic pit. Right, alright. We will look more closely at that once we get all the shit investigated in here. It looks like some sort of notice board or something. It's absolutely covered in scraps of paper. Mr. Naruhodo, look! This, you mean? It's an autopsy report, isn't it? There are case notes here, and details of prison inmates. Yes, in fact, there are all sorts of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room? It's almost like a detective was here or something. Some old newspaper cuttings. This one here. Oh, yeah, the advertisement you mean. To the Red-Headed League? But why? What's that doing here? Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason. For the money! We need more money, you see, Mr. Girl. Do you got anything to say, boyo? Excuse me, if you wouldn't so much as mind. Oh, Inspector, oh, sir. Poor man, he can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset. Oh, you still owed me $20! And now I'll never get that money!
Sir, can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir.
Right, perhaps I'd better leave you to your work then. Alright, well all these people are useless as always. As we always seem to expect from them. Top of one of the candles in this candle holder has been completely blown off. Yes, there's wax splattered on the wall behind it, look. I suppose if the bullet had hit it, it does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, having first passed through the inspector's body. Ugh. Now that wax on the wall looks like blood to me. The candelabrum. Candelabrum. Oh, Fresco Street. Top the candle appears to have been blown off. Okay. Nothing too much to see down here today. Somebody's very haphazardly nailed these boards over the broken glass, haven't they? They didn't even get the top layer. What the fuck? Can't even really call it a window anymore. It's more of just an open segment. Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room, that was totally bricked up. That one does at least still have some light. What? So you could say... You could say nothing more about it. Starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. My god, the poor man. When I was a poor boy, I lived in so much destitution. It was really sad now. Oh, what's this? Little buddy? A little friend? It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it, in a way? You know, you could, like, blow it up. Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson? It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Zeeks playing with something like this. And it's only about 8 centimeters tall. It could have fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence, just in case. Because everything is evidence if you believe hard enough. Yes, I agree. It is rather delightful after all, in a way. The policeman figure? Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing. Oh, funnily enough, neither could I. Fucking a hairpiece, isn't it? God damn it, everyone wanted to be a part of this redhead club. And I suppose the fact that it's right next to where the body was found means we can accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, doesn't it? And in such a flame-colored red, too. Yeah, that's a color we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it? Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure. Well, we'll see who that belongs to later. I wanted... like, we zoom back and find out that literally everyone in the Redhead Club has either dyed their hair or is wearing a wig. Like, literally no one in the Redhead Club is redheaded. Suppose this is where the victim... That's right. The rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found. Or Inspector Gregson himself has already been taken away. He's already in the morgue. And would probably be under Dr. Sife's scalpel by now, if not for what happened last week. Now he's under Dr. Sife's apprentice, little Plague Mask Girl. When do we get to see more of Plague Mask Girl? They, like, put too much work into her design for her to be, like, gone. From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up into a ball. Are you feeling alright, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you've just seen a ghost. I know it's just a rope, but, well, conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. And as you know, I am a pussy. A little pussy-ass bitch. Especially with that blood stain next to it. Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be even more worse than reality. Misato's song is so strong, though. She's taking this far better than I am. He's taking this like a normal person instead of like a pussy. Damn it. This is presumably the murder weapon then. Oh my, is it... It is real, I suppose? Maybe? I think so? Maybe. Maybe it's fake. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them. There's one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire a shot. What's the little thing at the bottom there? Like, there's a little hook at the bottom. No, no, no. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer just to ask someone who might know, I think. Killer's revolver. Excuse me. If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry, we'll look after things at the yard. I've interrupted some deep thoughts there. Alright, cool. None of you are useful. That's pretty awesome. Look at our new evidence. Evidence. Nose. Eye too. It doesn't seem like there's anything here. Okay. There's some black marks here, look. Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks. Perhaps a bullet struck the candle here, do you think? Only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems. The others are just worn down. Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them. Well, we already had a gun case last game. For the final case of last game. And now for the second final, basically final case of this game. Yay! It all comes around. It's all connected. Everything is connected. Even the things you don't think are connected, they're connected. The helmet of this policeman appears to be a little worse for wear. I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yeah, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Just like I wish to be. Usato, could you manhandle me? No. What? Almost as if somebody has enjoyed twisting it around for fun. You see, this is a STEM toy. We just don't know what STEM toys are yet, because, like, we don't acknowledge autism as a real thing in this period of time. Shall we try twisting it around and around too, for fun? Oh. That. It appears to be some sort of key. But it's tiny, though. It couldn't be a key for a door. Not at that size. What is it for, I wonder? Key. Alright. Interesting. Oh, you see, this key is actually, giving him, a prolapse. Looks like some sort of key. Yes, it does. A very tiny and simple key. What's a little key doing inside a figure of a policeman? What you doing up there, little buddy? Alright, well, we'll see about that later. Anything up here to give away? Always wondered what the underside of a hairpiece looks like. That doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruhodo's. You always want to see what lies beneath, don't you? I'm not sure that's quite how I'd put it. You must have used, though. You must have to use lots of bird lime to keep it in place on your head? The fuck is bird lime? Damn birds get... It's me, I'm the bird who stole all the limes. Because lime flavored. Pretty good. For candy? For candy and popsicles and stuff, lime flavor? Pretty up there. So it doesn't get blown off in a gust of wind, I mean. That might be a little inconvenient when you wanted to take it off again, don't you think? Gun time. What's this little hook here? I suppose this must have been the murder weapon. Haven't we gone through this already? Guys, we already said this. We don't need to say it again. Perhaps someone more familiar with firearms can shed a few light on things here. Yo, good morning! It's not even morning for me anymore, actually. It's afternoon, but yeah, good morning! I have started stream very late today, like 2 hours later than normal, because of construction work going on right outside my house. They're like pulling out the pipes and shit. It seems real bad. And it seems like the water in my house doesn't work correctly now, so that's fun. That's a fun little thing to go through. You know, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place? That's what I want to know. What you think? It's what, half a year since I got off the clink. That's when I decided to give up me diving and become a detective instead. Yeah, Mr. Shlomes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he? Something like that, I think. Anyway, the point is, I don't really know much about the boss till then. But it turns out, he's a bit of the legend at the yard. Oh yeah, because he's in all of the Shlomes books. They say he managed to solve some real tricky cases just like that. He did? Yup, and ever since then he started going on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else at the yard even knows what after cases he's working on are, apparently. That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? Why are we like this? What was the legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this? I know he had a lot of respect for the Reaper and all, but... And look what that landed him. Respect for the Reaper? In what way? I heard him say as much. I'll take him off the fella. I'll take my hat off of that to the fucking fuck. You ever just read a line so bad that it sounds like you're falling downstairs? I take my hat off to the fella, were his words. Not how the public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper. I mean, most people don't know of his existence, because why the fuck would they care about, like, a random-ass prosecutor? But, like, you know what I mean. Yeah, boss said that's exactly why you respect the bloke. I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in such high regard. He said something else to me and all. That I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, cause he only goes after people what are bad. I did kinda set my mind at ease when he said that. Right. Yeah, except he was trying to, like, ship you out of the country ASAP, if we remember last chapter. Gregson was trying to get Genna out of the country because of the Reaper's curse. What is this place, then? Does anyone live here? Apparently it's been written by some cove called Hugh Bone. It's been rented out by some bloke named Massive Wanker. Hugh Bone. It's sort of a here today, gone tomorrow name isn't it? Yeah, he's what we call an unidentified person. I haven't been able to touch him with them. I see. Well, judging from appearances, I'd have to say this place hasn't been lived in for a long time, if ever. Right? All the lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into the investigation. But there's so little here, no one knew what to do with themselves. You like my accent? It's not very good. You wonder. What do you wonder? What is going on in your Susato head? Well, could it be that this Hugh Bone is in fact Inspector Gregson himself? What? How could that be? Well, now that you've said it, no! It's gonna be the other guy we're looking for. What's his name? Vigil? This idiot. Vigil. It's gonna be this asshole. Pretending to be huge boner. It's quite possible that this was in fact some kind of secret office for him. I'd never even considered that. Nice work, Suze! We've already followed in a line of inquiry about that ourselves. You are? If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at it. Really investigate this place in detail. I already did. I see that's where the poor inspector was found, over there. That's me in the corner. Yeah, that's right. They said it was a single bullet wound did him in. Apparently the bullet went right through him, struck that candle tree on the wall. Oh yeah, it's blown one of the candles apart completely. And the gun used is out on the floor. It's the Reaper, isn't it? No denying that. What? Really? How do you know? Oh, take it easy. I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them big wide eyes. I'm only saying what I've heard. I don't know much about guns myself. There's some bigwig lawman or whatever who said so. Why don't you ask him? Bigwig lawman, is it? I wonder who that is. Are they maybe the culprit of the case? Anyway, Fresno Street runs along under the window there. There are some street sellers just outside who heard the gunshot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anyone outside. Yeah, they all been down to the yard for question, that's why. We're talking about the yard's legendary inspector here, after all. They're all getting a grilling. Do you think we might be able to speak with these street sellers ourselves? Yeah, in court tomorrow, dipshit. You don't get to speak to them before court, that's not your job. The lads at the yard will want to know what you're snooping for, and you'll be up for a grilling and all. We can't interview the witnesses then. Damn, it's almost like every other case in this series. Is there anything else to investigate? I don't think there is. Is there anything here? It looks like there could have been like a puddle here that could have been like important for something, but that's just me looking way too much into shit. That's what games like this make you do. They make you look into shit way too much. Yenna, what do you make of this?
What is this? Evidence? Work something out for you. About what happened, have you?
Oh, no, not exactly.
I ain't been long enough in the job to get this deduction business yet. I swear I'm gonna get the person what did this to the boss.
Okay. Maybe we should just present her with all this shit. Okay, nothing here. I just want to present a few little things to her and see if she has any more info. Like this, maybe? No info on this. Do you have info on anything we got in this room? No, not at all. Hey, you know this girl? What does this picture make you feel? Letter of introduction that has this on the other side, which that's gonna be important later, I'm sure. Because this wouldn't be evidence otherwise. I guess we move out. I guess they kind of pointed us to go towards here. Oh, or maybe the other guy. Like, the big boy at the other police station. You've made good time. I took an express train back to London. I can hear Lord Strongheart. Can you? Can you hear Lord Strongheart? Like it's Dora all of a sudden.
Yes, it sounded as though he's talking to someone.
Is everything in place? I have a private compartment on the train, so I could check all the paperwork.
It's
Kazuya Mishima. Ah, your timing is impeccable. It is? No doubt you have heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry. Yes. Except weren't you someone who believed in him? It's almost like you're a backstabbing, two-faced little lying bitch.
I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zeeks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson.
I believe only in the facts. And the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable acquittal of Lord Van Zeeks for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective.
Oh no, surely not.
I mean, come on, he was just a detective. It's not like that big a deal if you kill him. It is truly a regrettable situation. Tomorrow the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. At the very least, though, you can show the world our justice system's swift and equitable processes. So does that mean the trial is tomorrow? No, the trial is today. It's starting right now. He steps back and changes the entire room into a courtroom. I will be the judge now, and I deem him guilty. Wait, but aren't you like the culprit of this case? No, can't prove shit, no. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions.
Kazuma.
Ah,
But of course, you've already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings, leading the prosecution. Wait. What?
What? No way! That thing we already said was gonna happen? No, that's crazy. What?
As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law.
Kazuma-sama, a prosecutor? Why is he stanced up like that in the background? Alright, well, let's show him the gun. Here's a gun. Could I show you this, Lord Strongheart? Please, please, and thank you. Oh. Well, I really thought I was supposed to show you the gun, but okay. Oh, I have to talk to him about it, never mind. Well, I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no. People all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds. No salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey. And now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Oh no!
Quite so, the public want answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths. Unfortunately for them, this trial has literally nothing to do with that. So, like, whatever.
But Lord Van Zieks firmly denies any involvement in such matters. And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent.
That's certainly true. Or it has been at least until now. No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history.
Oh, Kazuma will be prosecuting tomorrow. That's cute. You know, having the best friend to be our enemy in core. I getcha, I getcha.
That's right.
But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart.
Not anymore, he isn't, bitch. Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. And imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, but like, wouldn't they all know about that? Like, it's not... not that hard to figure out. No doubt at all that Kazuma will be razor sharp as a prosecutor. Oh no. But why Kazuma-sama? There are surely more highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain.
Well, this is the only... You see, it's because of the dramatic irony of it. It's for the story's significance, not for anything that makes sense. It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial.
You asked for this? But why?
It will all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you?
How did you know?
Although the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation.
I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact. It seems like this is all some kind of huge plot being built.
You are quite right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors and the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as a judiciary closing rank.
So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution and the defense?
The whole court's gonna be run by Japanese.
Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in this land for so many months.
Hey dude, don't put too high of hopes on me. I've been on like, what, 5 cases here? At most. I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't gonna end well, my friend. My bestest partner. Oh, yeah, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if this belonged to Lord Van Zeeks? Please don't lie.
That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the case.
Well, the thing is, he wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask someone higher up who might know.
That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct.
Certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine.
We give them all guns. Like, fuck it, why not? What could go wrong if we give everyone a gun, I thought.
In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim.
No, Gregson had his gun on his person.
What about Lord Van Zeeks?
He claims it's currently not in his possession. According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious. How do you conveniently lose a gun with a hook on it?
But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof that it's actually his.
No, of course not.
Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zeeks. Lord Van Zeekiel. Zeekiel. Hey buddy, how you doing?
I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be alright now.
Has your memory completely returned? Do you remember how much you loved me?
No. Yes, completely. I remember everything. Including what I was coming here to do.
Right. Could you tell me about that? Cause like, you know, I've been wondering about that.
Kazuma-sama, I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia?
It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. I might have schizophrenia. I don't know if that's a thing that can be prescribed in this point in history, though. It was that voice that guided me here to London.
I'm so sorry for what's happened.
Anyway, my memory might have returned to me. There's something that won't return to the way it was before.
I will never love you again, Ryunosuke. No! Huh? What do you mean?
I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon.
Doesn't look like we're going to clean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart.
Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery.
Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Before you go, Ryunosuke,
Oh, what is it, Kazuma? You gonna confess your love?
I just wanted to thank you.
Kazuma-sama, what?
Kazuyamishima. You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection.
You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you.
Yes. But I had another purpose for coming here. Oh, shit, no.
Oh,
I wanted to try a cheeseburger for the first time. I actually have a favor to ask. Could you try a cheeseburger for me?
which is?
Trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me. As the defense counsel.
Why? What's this all about? It's almost like this is the main story of the game. What?
I know you have what it takes.
But Lord Van Zieks would never put his faith in my hands.
On the contrary, he recognizes your talent.
He doesn't tell you, but in secret, he's very jealous.
Not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this.
Look at this photograph! He does not look comfortable in this photo. He looks very uncomfortable with that smile. Just like, I'm here, I guess. That's Lord Van Zekiel. And Inspector Gregson. The photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it. You know, before his brother died, who's the person on the left there.
It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office.
In Gregson's office, you mean?
Yes, what I'm trying to say, that if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it.
Wow, new evidence. This is gonna be the huge crux of the game. I don't understand. Why are you giving me this? I'm sorry, I don't understand anything you're saying. Who are you? What are you talking about?
Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over.
What are you doing, Kazuma? What? Who am I? I'm sorry, I'm too stupid to comprehend anything you're saying. November 1st, local prison. Cell 1. Ooh, they gave him Cell 1. That's how you know he's fancy. Still reading that letter. He's a very slow reader. I thought I was a slow reader. You've been gone quite some time, though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. Might even be able to read English faster than he can.
I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese.
Oh, sorry, I didn't think you'd hear that. Teehee. Made you look.
I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time.
Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow. Just as all trials are, set for the next day.
Which is none of your business.
So have you found a lawyer, huh? Little shy boy, little idiot, prissy pants?
How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you.
In other words, no, he is not. We were just talking to Lord Strongheart, and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided.
I'd expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is.
It's going to be Kazuma Asogi.
Asogi?
That made the color drain from his face. Not that he had much color there to begin with. He's pretty white.
Well then, seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all.
Yippee! Anyway, here's the photograph, you little shit. Lord Van Zeeks, we came by this old photograph.
Look at this photograph. Please fucking pay attention to me. Where'd you get that?
It was taken
when I became a qualified prosecutor. Almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost.
Is the man on the left there your brother?
Yes, that's my brother, obviously. Clint Eastwood.
Clint Westwood. Clint Northwood.
Clint Southwood? No. What are you, fucking stupid? How dare you? Get out of my fucking face.
Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that?
Respect? That's nonsense.
No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade.
Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and some such lofty subject matter. But not anymore. Days are far behind me now, now that I am an edgelord. It was a nice glimpse of the past, I thank you.
I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. Yippee! There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle. We can finally give him a smidge of hope, just so that we can snuff it out right in front of his face. An insight from into the true nature of this man known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Baywee.
10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutors at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asogi.
Genshin Impact was Kazuma-sama's father.
What cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court.
I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you.
It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the onset. He did it just to fuck with me. He's a little rascal like that, I know.
But what could that have been hoping to achieve?
Let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia.
Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that?
Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you Nipponese.
Right, your hatred of all Japanese people came from one guy. You know, that seems very unreasonable, Lord Van Zeeks.
Well, I never claimed to be a reasonable person, that's on you. I'd only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer.
The so-called professor?
Assigned to the investigation of his partner.
was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard.
And that was Genshin Impact.
Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous to the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong.
Oh, that sucks. Anyway, get over it, pussy?
To avenge my brother, I prosecuted Asogi's trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented.
What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor?
The man in charge of the Professor case inquiry, Lord Mal Strongheart.
Wait, what?
Lord Strongheart?
Sorry, wrong voice there for a second. I was so surprised.
He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I felt indebted. It'd be a real shame if he was about to throw me under the bus and, accuse me of murder in here.
I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor.
Anyway, time passed, but then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you?
Ah.
And of all things, as a lawyer.
I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. And I could really feel how pissed you were at me existing. You're obviously deep loathing of us Japanese people as a whole. Pretty fucked up.
I kept telling myself it was illogical, but for so many years that hatred had festered inside me, I could no longer control it.
And I can understand why. Still fuck you, though? Like, fuck off?
In the same way that I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life. To Kazuma Asogi, I am the bane of his. The Reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in the court tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. He's probably chill about it.
Gregson's transfer to the Paris police prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month. He'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy.
Oh yeah, come to think of it, you did mention something about that, huh? Oh well. I wonder, does it happen often being transferred internationally, I mean?
It's the first time I've ever encountered it.
Oh.
The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. You know how much we hate the fucking French. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place.
Sounds like that mystery is even the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. I hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard. You know, something he brought up the first time that we talked to him, like, ever.
Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself. By uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy.
Oh my, 10 years ago?
Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time and rarely performed. My brother was of course a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful conviction somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death.
So, you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities, then.
I used to, until he fucked me over that one day 5 years ago.
Like, oh god, no, it's connected to a different case we haven't done yet?
No, yes, you're going to have to do a flashback to that case in order to get full context for this one. Because everything that happened in that case is also irreversibly connected to this case as well.
And even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life.
Inspector Gregson. My first and only love.
You know what, everyone in Ace Attorney is gay. It's called Ace Attorney, but no, they're all gay. They're all romantic for men. About the gun used to shoot the inspector, I almost said inspect the shooter. That was found at the scene.
Oh yes, that's not mine.
Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is.
What do you expect me to say to that? I don't know, give us some proof? Fucking, I don't know.
Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm.
As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true.
When did you lose it then?
That? I don't know.
Oh.
I was issued a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. Must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose, or left it somewhere, perhaps.
You have something in common with Lord Van Zeeks after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things.
No, that has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into this. Don't make the mistake of associating me with this Nipponese.
Oh dear, the rift is very wide, isn't it?
So it's not decisive evidence, clearly, but it doesn't look good, that's for sure.
Well, we're gonna assume that you're...
Mr. Naruhodo, it hurts me more than you know to say that.
Oh, that's the first time he's ever used my actual name.
I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. There's still one thing I'm willing to believe in.
What's that?
Your stupid fucking protagonist luck. The only thing I know works. That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth.
Lord Van Zeeks!
From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here is the loathsome Nipponese, who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother, Clint, and Genshin Impact.
The man he idolized and the man who betrayed his trust in the most heinous way.
Which are you going to fall into, Naruhodo? When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me.
You mean this photograph? The one I just showed you?
Back then I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plagued me. I looked to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe.
I'm so sorry. Oh, let me play a tiny little violin for you, you fucking racist piece of shit.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Of course I will. Like, we wouldn't have a game otherwise. I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo.
And my life is in your hands.
Bum, 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 bum. Ba-dum. For Lord Van Zeeks. That must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask. But like, I don't know, get over it, bitch. Which is why I simply cannot let the man down. I can't wait to find him guilty in court tomorrow. The Old Bailey against my old friend, Kazuma. When Kazuma comes up and hits me with an electric god fist. Electric wind god fish. Dun, 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 dun. So I am not going to trial today quite yet. But I will need to do a quick BRB to the bathroom. And once I am back, we will start the trial, part 1 of it. We'll see how far we get before I have to go. But luckily I don't have anything planned for today, so we'll see. I'll be in a sec. We're back! A dinosaur story. Back to Rock to the Dawn of Time. November 2nd, 8:56. We're getting into these courts earlier and earlier, it seems. There's an awful noise going on outside. Bum, bum. Yeah. It has occurred to me just how much longer these trials are. Like, not trials, but like, both the trials and the investigation. They're just like taking a while now. There's that old familiar feeling again. Back the same place we always are. Actually, no. A little different today. There's an even more menacing tension in the air. There is a menacing tension in the air here today, isn't there? I suppose. Hey, love you even more than before. Wonderful. Yeah, I think so. Can only be the result of the menacing appearance of the defendant.
A little more courtesy, if you please.
Oh my, I do apologize.
However, you're certainly not mistaken that this trial is far from ordinary.
What do you mean?
I'm not privy to the details. However, you understand that no jury has been selected.
A trial without a jury? Oh, no, that's just like the trial of the professor 10 years ago.
A closed court?
Oh, welcome back, Shlomes. How you doing?
Good morning, my dear fellows.
Mr. Shlomes!
Have you made note of my hair, Mr. Naruhodo? An outright victory for science, you must agree.
Good job, man. To be perfectly honest, so much happened yesterday that, well, I completely forgot about your little hair problem. I didn't. I would never, Shlomes.
What to one man is a little hair problem, is to another a day of drinking dubious potion after dubious potion. I have no idea how much my stomach ails me this morning.
Oh dear, how awful for you.
I'm afraid you only have yourself to blame, Mr. Shlomes. And good morning to you, Mr. Reaper. I'm delighted to see you looking so full of vim, verm, bam.
Bim bam bum. Here comes the rubber dubbers, vim vam vim bum.
And I see London's celebrated great detective is as active as ever. Oh, you exaggerate, my dear fellow, compared to my paltry engagements with a few trivial cases. The Reaper's overbearing presence is a far greater deterrent to the black roots of crime in our capital. Actually, it's shown from studies that the threat of death doesn't actually deter crime all that much. And whilst I may not agree with your methods, there is at least one point on which we could readily commend you. What an honor. And that would be your eye for a good lawyer, sir.
Mr. Shlomes, aww.
After all, behind this lawyer there is a great mind, my own. What are you trying to say?
I wish only to say that you should be prepared for quite a trial, Mr. Reaper.
You should be prepared for fucking anything.
Not a ball, gent. Ginna, you doing, guinea girl? Guinea, 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 a man after midnight. Watch you flip it out, do. What's that on her arm? The mourning badge, I suppose. Father, shouldn't you be at the symposium?
It's been postponed, so I have some free time. I decided to come along with the police inspector to see our country's up-and-coming student in action. Wario time. I shall be very interested to see the fruits of your studies over the past year.
Well, it's an honor to have you here. Let's hope there are some fruits to see. Seeing as there's no jury, like half my playbook is gone. Odo. Oh, yeah, Guinea? Ginna? What do you agree to this, eh? What do you think I'm on? What do you think I'm on? This Reaper bloke, everyone says it was him. What killed the boss? I'm sorry, Ginna, but I just don't believe that. Well, if it weren't him, who was it? I don't know that. Yet. It was Ashley, I told you. He did it last time, he did it again. I don't care who I'm with. I don't care who calls him what. The Reaper's just a name. He's just a person at the end of the day. And if it turns out it was him who killed the boss, then God help him.
Fiery eyes indeed. Yes, the culprit deserves every ounce of your loathing.
Eh?
At least that may be some solace to the deceased. To the deceased.
Please, Odo. Get whoever did this. Or the boss. Well, we don't even know if he's dead yet. We haven't seen his corpse. Last time we thought someone was dead, they were fucking fine. So really, he's probably still alive and kicking. I hate feeling this useless, but there's nothing I can do. They've got to find what's done this and make the wretch pay. Council's for the defense and the defendant. Starting the session shortly. Make your way to the courtroom at once, please. Please. Right then, here we go. And it's time, Mr. Naruhodo. Lord Van Zeeks. Court time! Yay! I love wasting a few minutes before we get to actually start the game. One who lost his trusted brother to a mass murderer. One who lost his treasured father in a foreign court of law. And one who lost the man who helped her escape destitution. And one guy who's very clearly the culprit of all of the things that have happened and has the motive and opportunity to do so. All that misfortune, all that pain, on course to collide headlong in this trial. Time to shine a light on all these dark events. And to get Mr. Shlomes to finally fucking look at me for once. Whatever truth is unrevealed. Revealed, whatever. We're gonna have to look it straight in the eye. Well, at least some of us will. I'm going to look it gay in the eye. They'll never see that coming. 2nd November, 9:20 a.m. Oh, this one started a little later than normal. Oh yeah, close court today.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here to conduct the fair and just trial of the defendant, Baron von Zeeks. Counsels for the defense and prosecution, are you ready to begin?
The defense is ready, my lord. Oh wait, no, there is a there is a crowd back here. Or they're just shadow people pretending to be here, the ghosts of the past.
The prosecution is more than ready.
Oh, Kazuma-sama. Been wishing to see you in court again for so long, it feels. But I never pictured it happening like this. I never thought I'd be facing you behind the prosecution bench.
The so-called Reaper of the Bailey has been a scourge like no other, undermining Her Majesty's justice system. Today we must uncover the truth behind this scourge, whatever.
In other words, trial is going to be a lot more far-reaching than Inspector Gregson's murder. We're going to talk about a lot here. We are not going to give a shit about Gregson's murder.
The truths unraveled by this proceedings may be unpredictable. The truths revealed by this proceedings may have unpredictable repercussions through the judiciary. Accordingly, they are to be conducted as a closed trial with no members of the public present. Luckily, the ghosts don't count. The shadow people in your back, ignore them. By Her Majesty's direct orders.
All that work, my lord.
Burden of all appreciation and agitation falls on my shoulders. Therefore, as you will see, the juror's bench shall remain vacant today. When I'm feeling like it, I will run up to the bench and press every one of these buttons individually, depending on how I feel about the case.
If no members of the public are present, might I ask who is currently occupying the gallery, my lord?
I already told you, those are the shadow people. They are members of the judiciary, here to witness proceedings and ensure an equitable trial.
Members of the judiciary. Oh my. This is a very unusual trial after all.
There is of course another unprecedented aspect of these proceedings on which I must elaborate. Look, I have to go through a lot of bullet points here before we can actually start anything. The counsels of the prosecution and defense are both aliens of Great Britain. They came from outer space. That is spooky.
I believe it takes an outsider to see the truth sometimes. As I stand here in the courtroom now, I'm quite certain this is the reason why I had to come to Britain.
Kazuma?
Very well. Let us commence proceedings. Prosecutor Asogi, your opening statement, if you please.
Certainly, my lord.
Oh, scroll.
The incident took place on 1st November at just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The location was a building of flats on Fresno Street, on the outskirts of the city. The victim's body was discovered there in an old single-room rental property.
Yes, Inspector Tobias Gregson. A name known very well indeed to this court. Not least for his miraculous resolution of one of this court's grimmest cases 10 years ago.
The professor case. How sure are you about the time of the incident? Several witnesses on the street outside heard the gunshot and all have reported the same time. Yes, that's what Ginna told us too. There were a number of witnesses. I have here a plan of the room. Ooh. There he was in the fetal position. Going, future. Victim was found curled up in one corner. I believe that he was shot from the front at point-blank range and died instantly.
How has the range been determined?
There was scorch marks around the entry wound. Scorch marks are caused by the gunpowder used to fire the bullet. The powder hot enough to leave scorch marks is only ejected a few inches beyond the end of the barrel. In other words, it only happens when the target is at point-blank range.
I see, yes. Thank you for the detailed explanation, Counsel.
The autopsy report. Yay! Finally! The murder weapon was found lying beside the victim. Hold on, we gotta look at the autopsy report for a bit. Male, 45, British, time of death. Just time of death. Why does it say nothing? What happened here? Who did this? Who fucked up here? Coroner Maria Gore. That's probably gonna be important. Victim was shot in the chest, close range, resulting in instant death. Caliber of gun used matches that of standard issue firearms for members of the judiciary. Hoi hoi hoi.
Have you managed to ascertain the owner of this firearm?
No, my lord. Not conclusively.
Bravo, Kazuma-sama, for not trying to use the gun as evidence when its provocation can't be proved.
Furthermore, my lord, as I've explained, the revolver was fired at extremely close range. The bullet passed through the victim and struck the wall behind him. There was a candelabrum mounted on that wall, and the tip of one of the candles in it was found to have been blown off by the projectile.
We noticed that too, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you for the thorough report, Counsel. The setting of the crime is clear to me. You will submit the plan of the crime scene as evidence, please.
As you wish, my lord.
Nay, new evidence, give me more shit. We have so much shit already, and we're gonna get so much more. Okay, nothing really here to look at the moment.
No, my lord. The room is rented to a Mr. Huge Boner. There is precious little furniture inside, and is generally in a poor state of repair.
What on earth was Gregson even doing there? Presumably he was investigating some case or other.
When a policeman was informed of the gunshot from the witness and rushed to the scene, he found only the deceased inspector and the accused standing alongside holding the revolver. The attending officer arrested the accused on the spot.
So, the details of the case are clear.
In that case, the prosecution would like to call its first witness.
A name, please, Counsel.
Naturally, the accused himself.
Lord Van Zekiel!
The prosecutor. He believes in the oath of the office he's taken, and will be compelled to tell the truth.
Very well, let the defendant take the witness stand.
So, witness, state your name and occupation for the court.
Barrick Von Zeeks, Old Bailey prosecutor. I presume, Lord Van Zeeks, that you heard of Prosecutor Asogi's opening presses.
I did. I'm very proud of him for doing such a good job.
It is alleged that you were found at the scene of the crime, and that you were arrested by the arriving police officer. Can you confirm this?
Yes, my lord. Then I'm sure the court would like to hear you explain some things away.
Yo, Tau 5, popping in to say, hope you're doing well. I am doing pretty okay. I had a rough patch, like the other day, but I have seemed to be doing okay now. We'll see. We'll see how everything goes. I am unsure about how, some future aspects of my life are gonna go currently, but it's nice to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm on the up. At least from the down I had a few days ago. Oof, it was real bad.
Namely, why you were in that room on Fresno Street at the time in question.
And what exactly took place? Oh, don't get a fucking smug look, Kazuya Mishima. Don't make us throw you off that cliff again. Yeah, I feel that, Tao. I feel that very hard. Life is rough as hell. Like, right? Life just seems to be treating everyone badly lately. And, it's hard to know what to do with that, you know?
I intend to explain away nothing. I simply tell the truth. I must say, Lord Panzeeks, I never imagined this day would come. Or rather, I didn't want to imagine it would come. Since you became known as the Reaper, a part of me has been dreading it. Oh well, anyways, guilty.
Die.
A formal testimony now then, witness.
See, what I'm most guilty of is getting these three voices fucking muddled up in my head.
I was investigating Gregson, and my inquiries had led me to that address. When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. That testimony was the whole truth. It was. So, you heard a shot before being fired in the room, with no living occupant. So that was the truth? That bullshit? You're telling me that was the truth? Alright, bitch. And moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes. Is that it? You're right. You haven't explained away anything. In fact, that would barely qualify as an excuse. Thought you were my mute apprentice. But it seems now you're real fucking chatty now, all of a sudden. Weird, that.
Loki need to catch up on Ace Attorney. I think I'm on the second game or so. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Luckily this one, the Great Ace Attorney games are a spin-off series, so they don't actually relate much to, the first 6 games that are all, like, connected, at least partially, depending on... Like, there's a first trilogy and then a second trilogy that are all, like, connected to each other, more or less. But yeah, these two games, Great Ace Attorney, are more separated, but we're basically, like, at the end of those games.
Yet it turns out you have a way with words, Prosecutor Asogi. It would appear to be a singular tale indeed. Singular isn't the word. It's laughable.
What's gotten to Kazuya Mishima? He's not behaving like himself at all. He got the prosecutor bug, and now he's acting like an asshole. Why does this always happen?
Very well then. Counsel, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. Cross-examination. I'm guessing we're gonna have to press everything here. I don't see us, I don't really see any contradictions so much as, like, him saying wild shit that doesn't really line up with anything. The ending for the first one had me so hooked on the series. Yeah, the first game did have a pretty good ending. The second game also has a really good ending, but the second game is weird. Cause, like, 2 of the cases suck, 1 of the cases is okay, and the last one is great. So it's like, you gotta trudge through the first 3 cases to get to that final one, where it all just like, oh, that's where the good shit is. Alright, what do you mean by inspecting? Like investigating? You were investigating the inspector? What on earth for?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Sorry? This is a closed trial. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Let's go with it, bitch. Come on, out with it.
I'd identified a distinct possibility that Gregson was involved in a case I was investigating. Regrettably, though, he was killed before I could secure the proof I needed.
And take care of yourself, girl. No problem. I'll do my best to take care of myself. See you later, Tao. How fun. Yeah. I'm back after a bit of a vacation. Not too long of one. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Take care.
The court understand, then, that on the day of question you followed the victim to the scene. No, I was privy to his movements in advance.
Ow.
I stole into his office in the yard and consulted his diary. The address on Fresno Street was noted in the 5 p.m. entry. You illegally entered the man's office. In Japan, that alone would constitute a very serious offense. As it does in Great Britain, I assure you. If not, is that not the case, Lord Van Zieks? I was aware of the possible consequences. So in summary, you were investigating the victim, and yet you refused to tell the court why. Correct. I didn't realize British prosecutor enjoyed some freedom to choose what to divulge under oath.
Ugh. Why did I ever think I could defend this man? He's just fucking throwing me under the bus already.
Hold it!
How dark was it inside? Have you ever been to the address before?
No, never. Only learnt of the place as a result of my investigations into Gregson's activities. There was no light inside when I entered, so it was all but impossible to make out anything.
But at 5 p.m. the sun would only just have gone down. It would have been reasonably light outside.
The room has a window, but it was boarded shut. Very little light found its way into the room from outside. It was extremely murky inside. I wouldn't have noticed if the victim was already lying on the floor. There was no artificial light in the room, you say? You're quite sure? I'm quite sure that the part of the room where the body was found was very dark. I have a feeling there was a small oil lamp burning on the desk, though I couldn't say for certain.
Look, Mr. Naruhodo! An oil lamp! Wowie zowie! There's a small desk in the room just here. Yeah, I remember. There was an oil lamp on it, as well as the framed photograph.
When I entered the room, I closed the door behind me and started toward the desk to investigate.
And what did you find?
Nothing. I never actually reached the desk.
Okay, that makes sense with what we've seen as well. Because the door would open in a way that blocks where you would see the body. And thus, if he looked over at the desk, he also, again, wouldn't have seen the body until later on when the door was closed.
Hold it!
So, who fired the gun?
I have no idea. I didn't see anybody else in the room.
But you saw it, say it was very dark in there?
Yes, that's right. All I can tell you is I didn't sense another's presence.
Aha! Then could it be that the gunshot actually originated from somewhere outside the room?
No, that's out of the question.
Oh.
Put your fucking finger down, you whelp.
Without doubt, the sound emanated from inside the room. I could smell the gunpowder. Ugh, this is going from bad to worse. And you say that's the point at which you noticed the revolver on the floor? Correct. And I foolishly picked it up. That was careless on my part.
Presumably, then, the gunshot you heard came from that firearm that you somewhat hastily took in your hands.
In point of fact, my lord, I believe it did not. What? The barrel of the revolver I picked up was cold. There was no smell of spent powder. Flappies. Little flappies. Then where on earth is the gun that was fired? Probably with the killer. Whilst I would like to oblige you with an answer, I'm afraid I can't. I too would dearly like to know that. I am dying now and...
Hold it!
A man, you say? One of the witnesses, I presume? That's right, one of the street merchants working on Fresno Street.
Who are these merchants? Who are these people?
A number of them had set up their stalls directly beneath that boarded window of the crime scene. A match seller, a newsmonger, and a peddler. They've all given statements saying they heard the gunshot. And you see, this is actually a setup for a joke I have going on, but give me a moment, give me a minute, I'll set it up. Without thought of danger, they ran inside to see what had happened. Yes, Guinness told us about that yesterday, didn't she? They burst through the door with some force, it would seem. They did. It almost gave me a heart attack in the process. But you're supposed to be the Reaper. First man to come in immediately noticed the revolver in my hand and fled. A policeman patrolling on Fresno Street heard the commotion and was able to arrest the accused shortly after the incident occurred. Anyway, the man's scream drew my attention in that direction.
Hold it!
Hold it. Talk about me.
What do you mean by that? In what way did the body appear? I honestly can't explain it, but it's the truth. As far as I was concerned, the body hadn't been there until that point. And then suddenly there it was. Did you perhaps hear the sound of the victim falling to the ground just beforehand? No. At that moment, what I heard was the sound of the door flying open and the scream of the man who came inside first. Nothing more. I could hear the sound of the man who came inside me first. It was very unfortunate I wanted to come first. I see. After the man fled, I examined the body. I was stunned to find that it was Gregson.
Most curious coincidences and circumstances indeed.
How the inspector was killed, or how his body seemed to appear out of nowhere, I have no idea.
Objection!
Surely the court has heard enough. Huh? No! My lord, cross-examination is clearly revealed that the accused Barack Van Zeeks is lying on multiple fronts. What is that supposed to mean? How dare you?
Good gracious, counsel. The defendant is lying, you say?
In his testimony just now, he claimed that he failed to notice the victim's body because the room was dark. That's correct. No, that's impossible. As proven by this candelabrum. How does that prove anything? If you examine the tip of the long candle, you can see it has been blown off by a powerful impact.
One would assume that the projectile from the firearm passed through the victim and struck the candle.
The problem comes when you consider the other two candles, which are clearly of a different length.
Yes, I can see that only the candle that appears to have been struck by the bullet is long. Very long. Judgy, are we?
We can reasonably expect someone to have lit all three candles together, which begs the question of why only one has ended up longer than the others. That must be because of that particular candle was extinguished when the others were still burning. Nah, someone was just going through them one by one. That's right, and when the candle was hit by the bullet, it obviously went out. But the other two candles still have been burning, so the fact is... the victim's body would have been illuminated by the light still thrown by the candelabrum. The accused claim that he couldn't see the body clearly contradicts these facts. And now to the next lie. There's more? Ah, fuck. The accused also claims to have never visited the scene of the crime before. That's the truth. That is almost... In that almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. A board covered from top to bottom in police documents and newspaper cuttings. Yes, that's right. We saw it too. It goes without saying that the contents of the police documents cannot be divulged, however. They include a number of reports from various historical cases, the oldest of which was from 10 years ago, where everything connects to the DL6 incident from 100 years in the future. 10 years ago? This is starting to sound familiar. This is starting to feel like deja vu a little bit. There's a common thread linking all of the documents on that board.
Indeed? What is this common thread, Counsel?
They all relate to cases prosecuted in court by Barrick von Ziegs. The smug little face. Like he's looking so punchable here. All of them? And furthermore, all these cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted.
Good lord.
Interestingly, none of these defendants are alive today, because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper. Ah, I see. I see. Oh no. Oh no. In short, that dingy little room is the Reaper's secret hideout and his base of operations. The Reaper's hideout? Oh man. Yet the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout. No one would believe that. No, the truth is, we've been looking at this backwards.
Backwards? Explain, Counsel.
Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. What? Well, you know, you're making a lot of assumptions here, boyo. You're sounding a lot like me here.
Very well, I hereby state the current opinion of the court. Barrick von Ziegs is an outstanding prosecutor who has rendered great service to this country. However, it is with deep regret that I must concur with Prosecutor Asogi's connection, and that the defendant's testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistency with the known facts. All I have done is state the truth as I know it.
He's done a brilliant job as ever. Man, I'm so impressed by him. Drawing on his experience as a defense attorney to build his prosecution case. And it's formidable. Oh, fuck. I'm getting fucking destroyed.
Counsel, you will submit the board that you just showed the court as evidence. I believe it to be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounding the Reaper's existence.
Thank you, my lord.
The note board! Yay!
And now that the prosecution would like to call new witness to the stand.
Alright, give me a second here. I gotta look at this fucking clipboard. Oh, there we go. There's something. Oh, what's this? A bloody handprint. Look! Oh yeah, it's a smudge of some kind. In fact, it looks like a handprint. And the color, that's blood, isn't it? Oh dear, how disturbing. Yay, okay, well, you know, you always gotta look at new evidence just to find what the actual evidence is. Paper from 10 years ago is browning with age, look. Out of interest, the most recent thing appears to be this newspaper cutting here. Oh, it's the same Red-Headed League advertisement that Mr. Shlomes had picked out. And do you remember that the red hair piece at the scene too? Was Inspector Gregson an exponent of the Red-Headed League then? Oh. Yo, look at this 3D, whoa. Oh, no. Yeah, that's fine, just flip it over, it's fine. Witnesses who saw the events unfold on the day in question were mentioned in the previous testimony too, if you remember. Yeah, the street sellers who heard the gunshot and went running into the room.
Very well. Lead the witnesses in. Get them in here. The defendant may step down from the witness stand.
Certainly, my lord, I'll do a little bow. Just a little courtesy I like to do. Oop.
Oh no, this guy. Oh no, he's homeless.
So, witnesses, state your name and occupation for the court.
Names? We don't use names. Far too fancy for the likes of us. What is wrong with your lip, dog? What happened? Did you get stung by 8 bees?
We're just free and easy. So what we like? Love where we wanna live.
This girl looks like someone from Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. If anyone remembers that game well enough to recall, she looks like a character from that game. I gave them all a vacant stare as they walked down Fresno and spin a few words into a verse for them.
Ah. Would it be right in assuming all three of you make your living by selling wares on the street?
Everyone calls me gossip. I sell jaunty little tidbits to passerbys, you know.
Jaunty little tidbits? What are you, a fucking video game character?
Got an absolute smasher for you, sir. Right up your ginnel it is. 6 pence is the price and not a penny less.
Wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now?
Oh, come on, sir. Don't tell me you're not interested.
Try the man.
Give him the money and see what it is.
Are you the man, counsel?
Why do y'all think I have the money for this? What the fuck? Fuck off. Y'all are way richer than me. Alright. 6 pence it is. You won't regret it, sir. Now got your listening ears on? Just between us, a young couple on Side Street just had twins. Is that it? You know, you could have told us something about the case. No, that's not it. It's gossip, isn't it? Isn't it? Wants to spread. That bit's up to you and your mouth, of course. I've got more, you know. Another juicy one. 6 pence a piece it is, if you're curious. I'm curious, yes, about what's going on just under that fat bottom lip of yours. Namely, that unusual bruise or whatever it is that's poking out from under your collar. Oh yeah, he does have a real bad neck bruise. What about the next witness then? What name do you go by and what do you sell?
Me? I'm Venus. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, innit? I sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local school kids. I love seeing them blow their arms off. 6 pence a pop, what do you say?
You weren't exaggerating with little. They actually sell?
Oh yeah, the second year can't get enough of my Venus firecrackers. Specifically when I tell them that if they get 100, they could blow up the school.
Not the most savory of ideas, young lady.
What do you say then, eh? Want to part with 6 pence for a pop?
You know some of those kids are building up a collection to blow up the entire school. They have a whole gang. Wait, what? You want me to buy one?
Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you could blow up the whole courtroom.
Try the woman. Give her the money and see if she's right.
Hey, the woman counsel.
Alright, why is this the new bit?
Lovely stuff, right then. This is something a bit extra just for you. Venus special, only 600 pence.
That's 600.
It's 100 of my regular fireworks. Nothing little about that, is there?
And there'd be nothing little about the punishment and I blew up the Old Bailey either. But why? Okay. Alright. So this is the gunshot they heard then. Alright, that makes sense. And the last witness, what name do you go by and what do you sell? Yeah, okay. You know, I wouldn't have thought of that unless they put it in the court record, and now I know for a fact that it's gonna be the case.
You any idea, Mr. Naruhodo? You're staring at the end of the string of fireworks.
Sorry, it's just that the Venus special. I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like.
Shall we find out?
What? But he said it would blow up the courtroom. Alright, that was a fairly sizable bang.
My ears are still ringing, Mr. Naruhodo.
It sounded almost exactly like a gunshot. I wonder. Weird. Anyway, did we really need to examine that in order for it to say it goes off like a gunshot? Okay, sure. Look, we had to point it out to everyone. We had to make it obvious. Thinker me, think all sorts of thoughts. I think, therefore I am. I am, therefore I think. I think. Because I stand there on the street, watching the world go on about me. They call me the Observer. Get out of it, old man. Everyone calls you Sandwich and you know it. Everyone calls you Sandwich and you know it. So you don't actually sell anything. A problem shared is a problem halved, as they say. I give advice, I do, and think what it means. I don't actually sell anything, no, come to think of it. Pity. No more purchases today, please. I'm running out of money.
Well, we have quite a cast here, it seems. Why do we always do this? Why can't we ever get normal people in here?
They conduct their business on Fresno Street from the morning until night, my lord. And always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene.
I see. And thus they heard the gunshot, I suppose.
Only that, but they very bravely ran inside to see what was going on, and the witness the crime. Well, I'll be beggared, I thought, just between us.
Venus de Milo, what am I to do? What a terrible thing to say.
What I think is, if all what we see is light and shadow, playing with our eyes, is any of it real? Who am I? Who are you people? Very well. Court will hear the formal testimony of these three witnesses now.
Why don't we get to know the name of Beppo? Why don't any of y'all remember Beppo? He was here in the first case we did in Britain. He was the bus driver.
You will describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident.
Wait, I should also check the people. The Beppo. Yeah, look at him. Sandwich, Venus, gossip. Sandwich. The witness's account. We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did. Everything from the moment they went in the building.
It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang.
Seems to be that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait to go and see what had happened.
I ran into the room and there he was. Scott the was. The Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body.
I was scared half to death, me. So I ran off to find a copper.
If these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? Only the victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Baron von Zeeks. I've seen pictures of the Reaper in the paper. I know what he looks like. And just between us, folk love stories like that. And I've made myself a time into some already. But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied. Of course they are. They're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot. Inexpensive to boot. I can't land on a voice for this guy. I just can't land on a voice for this guy. The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased. Wow. That's like impossible nowadays.
And we know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Huge Boner.
Testimony the court has just heard would appear to leave little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the defendant could have committed the crime.
No, it was Strongheart disguised as, Von Zeeks. That's gonna be one of the twists for this one, is that someone was disguised as, Van Zeeks, and because these three don't actually know Van Zeeks and probably just know him by his outfit, that would be enough to, like, trick them. Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony. Somehow. I have to break it down. hey, 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 hey. Let me save real quick, make sure, just in case my computer does a fuck up. Right, what kind of evidence do I even have is the thing. Because, like, half of my evidence doesn't even relate to this case yet. Oh, this guy could have dressed up as Van Zeeks. Because when the fuck is he gonna come into play? Less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside. Heard a big bang. Being that quick to talk is quick to lock. Ran into the room, Reaper gun in hand. Scared half to death. I ran to find a copper. God. Okay, none of this is sticking out to me, really. Let me press this one first. None of these are really sticking out like a sore thumb to me. By which presumably you mean the gunshot?
I sell these little things, don't I? How would I know what a gunshot sounds like? But I've always thought it probably sounded a bit like this, doesn't it?
And you say that you heard the noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant here enter the building?
That's right. It was almost straight away. Bang, it went just like that.
Well, he's the Reaper, isn't he? It's what the French call a fait accompli. When the Reaper's around, people are going in the ground. No, I mean, that's what he does, isn't it? I think we get the message. Look, stop accusing my client of shit. The Reaper doesn't allow the inspector to live after he discovered his secret hideout. There can be no clearer motive for the crime. Yes. Certainly an immensely credible motive. Great. At that point, you ran inside, is that correct?
Hold it!
I'll probably just have to press on everything here. When Gossip ran to see what had happened, did you go too? Well, me, I'm a bit hampered, see? All the signs are all that I can't move very well. You are way behind, presumably, with that sandwich board around your neck and that big sign in your hand. What a great burden you bear. Pardon me for asking, Mr. Sandwich, but is it possible you and I have met before? I'm not anybody, me. The signs are what make me who I am now. I sign, therefore I am. You've never seen me before in your life, I swear. So, you weren't employed as an omnibus driver just under a year ago, then? Hippo?
I might be mistaken, but I believe his trembling has intensified, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah, I agree. He's clearly been through a lot after taking a shit ton of bribes. Down King Henry Street, and the Black Widower's Arms is just there.
Oh dear, you've made him hide behind his sign.
Life is full of surprises. I ran in there, there's Reapers that I saw, hoopa-doopa-doo. So then you were the first person to arrive on the scene, is that right? That I was, kicked the door down like a professional, I did. I yelled out, "What's going off here?"
Lord Van Zeeks claims all he heard was a man scream, though.
And it was dark inside the room. No, not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall. Really? There was a fella collapsed on the floor. Just between us, it's the first thing I noticed when I got inside. Ah, I see. That's real bad for us, actually. So is this gonna be a kind of thing where, they saw the murder take place, but what Van Zieks saw was a second murder? Like, Van Zieks was there way later, actually. Gonna have to be some weirdo shit like that in order for this to make sense. Even though Lord Van Zieks claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall. Next thing I noticed was someone standing right beside the body.
The accused, Beric Von Zieks.
That's right, and pale-faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked I won't deny it. Oh, no lily-livered coward. I stood my ground and gave the Reaper a cold hard stare myself.
Was there anyone else in the room at the time?
No, of course not. Not at first. And then this old stiff came waddling along behind me, of course. Only him, mind.
I can't handle stairs so well as you can imagine, especially on the way up.
And you couldn't have just failed to see someone. Oh, it was a bit dingy in there, I grant you. There were the candles on the wall and the lamp on the table.
There was nowhere anyone could have been hiding. You marked my eyes.
Ugh. Yippee.
Hold it!
Okay, so you didn't run into the room with your friends?
I'm not that sort of girl. Don't call them my friends. I'm acquaintances at most with them.
Sorry?
I'm a timid little thing, me. I was too scared to go in there.
Ah, right, I see.
Old Lemmy and the witch ran in there, and then I heard a sort of old lady scream.
Well, that wasn't me, I swear. If I were a gentleman, I'd stake my honor on it.
I wondered what on earth was going on.
Which is when you went to find a policeman?
And I ran into a copper as soon as I turned the corner. So I brought him straight to the place. Didn't I do well, eh?
Just between us, that copper's eyes nearly popped out of his head when he saw the Reaper.
I've never felt more uncomfortable in all of my life. And that's saying something. I've been in a lot of uncomfortable situations before. The defendant was arrested on the spot, I believe. Considering the catalog of killings the Reaper had been carried out, it was a particularly innocuous end.
Can't find any holes in this testimony.
I'm afraid the judge will give a ruling of guilty.
This, though, their combined testimony is really damning.
Unfortunately, there don't seem to be any obvious problems with their statements, do there?
Still, if Lord Van Zieks really is innocent, I'm almost certain that we'll find something in there doesn't quite add up.
I don't think that one of these three could be the true culprit, do you?
I don't know, but what I do know is that there's more to this case than is yet to be brought to light. This is the only one I haven't pressed yet. So I'm probably gonna do that, but what the fuck else could... Said the room was very lit. Said there was nowhere to hide, except like back here. You could hide back here, maybe. They probably didn't search back there. Did someone say there was nowhere to hide? He said it, but not in a testimony sense. Yeah.
Let's press them.
You say they. What do you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and defendant Lord Van Zeeks? I suppose so. The likes of us don't know the names of the high and mighty. But I'll tell you one thing, it was that old Reaper that went in last, that's for sure and certain. Just behind Inspector Gregson. Did they arrive at the same time as each other? No, not at all. First fella must have gone inside a good 15 minutes before he heard that gunshot. Victim arrived 15 minutes before? Are you sure about that? I'm sure, I am sure. Am I sure, am I sure? Does it seem likely that I'd forgotten a fellow with bright red hair like that? Does it?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, his hair really were red, weren't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks, even.
That fiery red spot is still burnt on the inside of my eyelids, it is. Wait a minute, you're saying the man was a redhead? Weren't you listening, chump? Ah, he was a redhead. He had a big trunk with him as well. But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red, not by any stretch of the imagination. Ignore the fact that there was a red wig there. Seems likely that the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party.
No, fuck off. But the witnesses are correct.
What?
Have a look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene.
Yes, that's Inspector Gregson, alright.
And a red hairpiece. Of course. We saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we?
Still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a headpiece, though. So then why on earth would he have been wearing something like that?
The color does seem to suit the man, one might say. You know, because of the blood that accompanied him. Photograph will be submitted as evidence, please, counsel.
Yay, photo! New evidence. What became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying? We can't see the bullet wound. Got the blood. Nothing really here at the moment.
I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene.
It just disappeared? What, do you expect us to be watching the building every second, do you?
We definitely saw him in the dock going in. No questions about that.
Big Bang. Okay, what are we looking for now? Okay, now we can save again. Now we have new evidence and stuff, so you'd presume that that's what's gonna help us now, but it's hard to say. Because I don't see anything here. Heard a Big Bang. Gossip couldn't wait to go inside. I ran into the room, Reaper, gun in hand. Fuck. What the fuck do I present?
Hold it!
Is there any other stuff, like... Anyone want to buzz in? Anyone want to come in? Y'all want to Want to say anything, or? Hmm. The cop was just conveniently right there, behind him.
Hold it!
Well, if you said only 2 people entered, where did the cop come from? No, nothing there. Hmm.
Excuse me!
Excuse me. Talk more. You have something to say, please. Yeah, okay, that's just a failure. Yep. Can't find any holes. I'm not finding any holes right now. What the fuck? Let me try and reread these over again. Fine. Maybe now that I have the evidence from in here, there'll be something when I look it up. Okay. I don't think I've done,
Hold it!
like, first over this one again. Candles were burning bright on the wall. Really, no one wants to, like, kick up a fuss or anything? Hmm. Oh, finally. Thank you, Pippo.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Pippo. Bippy. I don't remember what your name is fully, but Bippy, Mr. Sandwich. You have something to add, Mr. Sandwich. Please do. We are, like, tossing around in circles here. There's really nothing to me. Empty in the head I am, just 2 slices with no middle. I don't know what you could want with me. I think that maybe you just remembered something? Having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean. What I think is we're all nothings, really.
We try to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers. And that's enough out of you, Sandwich. Keep your trap shut now. Unless you want us to make you into a real sandwich. But when he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside.
That's it? Oh, you rotten beggar. I told you to keep that a secret.
He screamed, he did. Screamed and scrambled off on all fours. That's all I wanted to say.
Mr. Gossip, is this true? The floor was dead slippery, that's why. Planted my feet in a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck. What? A pool of blood? Listen here. Even when I was sprawling on the floor, I still kept giving that Reaper a cold hard stare, and don't you forget it. Let's just go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hands? I did, happens to the best of us at times, doesn't it? So I was scared, so I slipped over. We just keep it between us, can we? No, I'm telling everyone. I'm going to have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony. If I must.
Witness will send his testimony. Information details at once.
Flipped over and got blood on my hand. Well, that doesn't quite work with what we know, because there was no blood on the floor. However...
Objection!
Yeah, finally, we can move forward here. So you wiped off blood from your hand on the floor of the room. Are you quite sure about that? Well, what else do you expect me to have done, eh? Does it really matter?
The police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigations. What exactly is the defense asserting?
If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Asogi.
Don't backchat me, boy.
Certainly, there were no bloody handprints found on the floor.
What are you trying to say?
There was a handprint in blood left very clearly at the scene. On the back of this notice board.
Oh, yes, indeed. Indisputably a handprint in the distinctive color of blood.
You're dead right. That's my right hand. I'd know it anywhere.
Objection!
The witness very definitively testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant.
Objection!
Not if the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there.
Just look at the floor plan of the room. Yeah, that is pretty far away.
The notice board was on the opposite corner of the room to the victim, and in an upright position. Even if it had somehow been toppled and was lying on the floor at the time, it would have been a considerable distance from the body. I fell over when I came across the body. I was basically right next to the corpse, not on the other side of the room. In other words, the defense's assertion is contradictory. Yes, it is. There's a very definitive contradiction here, for which there must be a reason.
I take it you've formulated a proper hypothesis, counsel, regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's account and the handprint found at the scene.
I have, my lord. The discrepancy between the witness's account and the location of the handprint explained by the board moving, I would assume. The real contradiction here is that the handprint itself, not where it was found. And the court can see it's upside down.
Gracious, so it is. Witness had put his hand against the board, the finger should have pointed upwards.
What does that tell us? It tells one simple fact. When this handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor as I previously suggested. Which means that after the incident, it must have been moved.
What?
Damn, why he has
Objection.
his ass out like that? They're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting. Yeah, someone probably moved everything in that fucking room. And then tell the court who. I don't know that yet, but the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be very clear on one point.
And that would be?
The position of the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord.
Counsel, I must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court.
How do you maintain the notice board was situated? I guess right in front of the corpse, then? Or like... Because, like, I'm trying to figure out why he had blood on his hand to begin with, is the thing. Because it would have made sense if he fell over on the floor, and then got blood on his hand when he fell. But where did he get blood on his hand to begin with? I guess it would have to be like, if he was right here, then fell over, it would have to be like here. Ish.
Take that!
This is the only possible location.
Immediately adjacent to the doorway.
The court would think back to the testimony given by the defendant earlier. He said that when he entered the room, it was dark, and he couldn't see the body. The notice board had been here. The body would have been completely hidden from view, while also just opening the door like normal. But I guess, you know. And the light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear darker.
Objection.
The accused also claims the victim's body simply appeared before him. That's true. Or, in his precise words, yeah. I don't know about calling it a scream, but he was talking about me and no mistake. Because it was me that kicked the door open. You look around at the floor plan. Consider what would happen if the door to the room was blown open with force. And it would knock this down. And that can't. The door struck the notice board, knocking it over, and making the victim's body visible.
Gracious.
My client has told nothing but the truth. He was simply described what he saw. There's that ass again, throwing it back.
Order, order, counsel. How has this not come to light before now?
After the incident, someone must have righted the board and moved it into the position where the police, myself and my colleague, saw it when investigating the room. Someone on the police force is working against us.
Witness, what have you say for yourself?
What? Me, my lord. You and your fellows were there at the scene before anyone else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board.
Witnesses in the stand will testify again. You will each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime.
Stop looking at it looking over your glasses at me. I get the message. I get the message. Fuck. Mystery of the moving board. Oh, our new case. I don't know anything about that there notice board. I just wiped my hand on it, that's all.
Well, don't look at me. I ain't haven't a clue about it. No, I was doing business with some second years at the time.
What? I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me, just a sign at the crossroads of life. It was that Breeper a bit. He's got a face that screams bored. I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot. None of you can elaborate further. Shaken by the crime they witnessed, with only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp by which to see. We can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened.
That's right, yeah. It don't pay to expect too much.
It's man's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think. No, it's greed, you fucking idiot. Do you really? In any case that this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. The gunshot rang out. The accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly have committed this crime is Barrick von Zeeks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact. Quite so, quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witnesses despite the circumstance? Yeah, obviously. I wouldn't be here otherwise. Game if I don't cross-examine everyone. We need like 8 more testimonies before we can get anywhere in this game. See what's going on here. That doesn't... This is the one that really, doesn't make sense. Like, what are you doing out there? When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks?
Yeah, what else? There's the Prairie School just round the corner, see? Those cheeky little so-and-sos have got a plan to blow their school to kingdom come. So I've been telling on them, letting their teachers know what they're up to.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, so I let the school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. Then, praise the Lord, the teachers take all the fireworks off them. And then, praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to me to buy more. Everyone happy, see?
What a racket.
Of course, and sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus and thank me for letting them know. It's a busy old life selling explosives.
This is a gleeful goddess indeed.
Well, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, really. I'm ever so good at it.
That's something you should be saying in court. That's something you should really be going off about in court. Oh, I'm so good at telling bold-faced lies. I love it. If I say it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it? No? Did Miss Venus's statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps? No? Maybe.
philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts.
Huh?
Let's say there was a great liar, and that great liar said without batting an eye, "Telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, I'm ever so good at it." But those words of hers be a lie too, or the truth, in which case she's not a liar. Oh, it's a hellish paradox, that one, don't you think?
Well, it's not really a paradox, it just means they told the truth once. Like, you know, they don't always have to lie when they're saying they're a great liar. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, but it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you?
I didn't say that.
What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that. And I'll wrap your whole body in fireworks and set 'em off. That'll give you something to tremble about.
You have a startling, disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady. You just threatened a man with murder, in court.
So Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich?
Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You elaborate, please, sir.
Give me a few minutes. Old Blabbermouth here headed for the room where the gunshot seemed to come from. But there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind him, too. That's right. That rotten liar over there.
Gives a cute little kiss to the fireworks.
Mean to say that you did in fact betake yourself to the scene of the crime after all.
What did I tell you, eh? Yeah. I said I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I?
Yes, you mentioned it. That's... You're going to jail.
Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it?
New firecrackers pack such a punch.
You did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief.
Well, now you come to mention it, I suppose perhaps. I do remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah.
Either you clearly remember it or you don't.
Well, I shall consider a fitting punishment for this perjurous act later. For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth.
Oh yes, my lord, of course. I just love lying. It's not... I had no reason to lie, I just felt like it. Maybe I did sneak ahead behind gossip and have a little peek into the room where it all happened.
Hold it!
You make a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus?
Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. I've been called a pathological liar, but I don't think that's a real thing as of yet when this game was made. 1900 and all. If you want my advice, though, I'd take everything I say with a big pinch of salt.
Alright, but you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you?
Oh, please, as if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying.
The truth, please.
Well, alright, just a bit then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know.
You touch anything at the scene?
Oh, please, as if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor.
The truth, please. He's just so sick of this person already. He's known this person for 2 minutes and is like, I already hate you, please stop.
Well, alright, just a bit then. I had a look to see if there was anything I could sell. So I did give the place a proper once-over, but it was nothing to write home about.
Right. Now, I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you?
Oh, please, as if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I had.
The truth, please.
No, I don't feel like it. Well, alright then, I thought there might be something worth having underneath it. So I blasted the flippin' thing. Sorry, flip the blasting thing.
You're telling us that you did move that board!
I think that did slip out, didn't it?
What? You daft barn pot? I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think. So, did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken, perhaps, to sell?
No, please, that should be so lucky.
The truth. Now. Stop.
I might have found this old pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose. But a bit of junk like this can't be worth much if you... So it was you, was it?
You're the one who took it. Genna. Young lady, may I remind you where you are?
That watch there. That was a present to Inspector Gregson from the yard for a big case he solved 10 years ago. A professor case, no doubt. Boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for some grub to come at the pub.
I see.
I swapped it off him once, and blimey was he upset. Gave me a right earful. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years, polished it and widened it. Meant the world to him, that watch did.
Possibly not the best thing to go diving for, then.
It's not all that, though. I took it to Jebba's that night to ask how much it was worth, but the old dealer wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't give me a penny for it, said it wasn't working. Knocked about and worthless, he called it.
I knew I should have lifted it. God, this crowd is getting... This stand is getting crowded. That watch must be submitted as evidence at once.
No, please, just so long as you promise to give it back once we're done. Not a chance. I'll swap it from you if you try to get your grubby mitts on it again.
That's enough. Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith. Oh, now, children, watch your manners. Good lord. Glass appears to be broken. More than likely, it's shattered when the inspector was shot. Inspector.
Doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why Jeebus didn't want it. What a waste, eh?
Yes, indeed. It appears to have stopped at hour of 5. Exactly when the gunshot was heard then.
Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course.
Yippee! Okay, well, that doesn't help us as much as I was hoping. Okay, let's go to scene number 3 with our evidence now. Stopped at 5. Oh! Here it is. So that's where the other thing goes to. The policeman figurine. It's slotted in here. There's a little keyhole here. Can you see?
Yes, that's probably for the winder used to wind up the mechanisms.
Looks a little unusual, don't you think?
Yes, you just need the right key to wind it, I imagine.
Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Something a bit like a key that's the right size to fit in this hole.
It'd be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully over what we've already found.
Alright, how do we do it? First, let's finish looking at this. The tiny little stub sticking out from this small hole here.
I suppose this must be a little knob or something on that for setting the time.
In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took such care of this watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it?
Yes, of course.
Could mean that there's a small part of the watch still at the scene, maybe. Oh, it could be the part that's on the gun. That'd be weird, though. I don't know how it would have gotten stuck there. Glass over the face really is badly cracked. Look.
What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully.
I imagine Mr. Shlomes could repair it, don't you?
Yes, I should think so.
Very adept at things like that. A useful man to have around, in fact.
But kindly remember that he's a great detective, Mr. Naruhodo, not an odd job man.
No, he's an odd job man. He loves doing odd jobs. As long as he gets his monies. Open this up again. Alright.
Mr. Sato,
You think perhaps this key could be the key for Inspector Gregson's watch?
oh yes, it could be. Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose.
Yippee! Stick it in there. Do it. A perfect fit.
And look, the inspector's watch has started going again.
Oh, has obviously just not been wound up, that's all. What is it, Misty Sato?
Well, if the watch isn't actually broken after all,
I have a feeling it could have profound implications. Deep in thought all along. I don't know, maybe someone set it to 5 instead of it actually being stopped at 5. Woohoo. Right, good shit, good shit. As you predicted, it had very little bearing on the case. Ugh. Now then, continue with your cross-examination, please, counsel. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander. I didn't do shit.
Hold
I
it!
think this is what we gotta press. This seems wrong. 5 o'clock in the afternoon when you heard the loud bang. Definitely wasn't anything bad here at all. Not at all. Okay. Sorry, I had to check something real quick. Everything's going okay, maybe, hopefully. What is going on? My roommates, they're all fucking yapping about what's going on outside, and it's a real problem. Maybe the notice board fell over, maybe it didn't. Maybe I fell over, or maybe I didn't. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way. So your fate's sealed too. My fate? That's right, the defense is fated to lose. The prosecution to win. Words, it all hinges on that single gunshot. So if I could just find some problem with that part of their story...
it may be possible to change all our fates.
Of course, none of that changes the fact that I heard what I heard, doesn't it? Not much to go on.
You've pointed out, Mr. Naruhodo, there's no question that the notice board was moved.
So, someone must have done it.
Somebody must have done it. We don't know who, though. Maybe Kazuma is right, and it's not relevant to the case. But it seems to have been deliberately positioned. So I feel sure that there's some deeper significance to all this. Yeah, I know what you mean. Hold on. Oh, wait. I think I... 'Cause what did he say exactly? He said it was like he saw what he saw, but how did he see the time? No, that's not what he said. Like, maybe it is just this.
Objection!
Objection. Fuck you. Okay. I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case. Oh. At the scene, we found this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. A key. And having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that it is in fact still works. See, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case has been built.
What?
Order, but counsel. Watch was stopped at exactly 5 o'clock.
Yeah, which is just when we heard that gunshot.
It is exactly the hour.
The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5
Objection.
o'clock. Even if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when the crime was committed.
Objection!
Nope, I don't believe you. No, that doesn't hold.
Why not?
Recall what Inspector Lastrade said only moments ago.
Boss used to wind that up every evening, without fail.
Meant the world to him, that watch did. Victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day in the evening. We can be reasonably assured, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well.
Yes, that would be entirely reasonable.
But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day. In summary, the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You can't mean he died 2 days ago! What would stop a man winding his watch if he'd been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead. Look at him twist.
Order, counsel. That is the most extraordinary claim. That's a lot of bullshit you're spewing.
It's absurd. You claim to have already died the night before. You really think that Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? Well, maybe. They were in on it last time, so... And there is something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted. That's right.
Wait a minute, you're forgetting that my legs went from under me when I kicked the door in.
What do you mean?
Like I said, I planted my hand in that dirty, great puddle of blood.
Yes. So the victim's blood hadn't dried, it was fresh.
He catches on fast, doesn't he?
Objection!
The blood could be explained in any number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been poured over the... Oh. Does my learned friend think that fresh blood is available on every street corner? I mean, technically, yes. Depending on how you look at it.
Well, it needn't necessarily have been human blood, of course. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human.
Problem is currently being researched. At present, you are correct. It is beyond our abilities.
So then, a chicken's blood could have been used, for example.
It's certainly a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all.
Objection!
The gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's beyond question.
It is? Is it, though? Is it really? You see, we have a fireworks cracker here, so,
We have a firecrackers worker here. I don't know how to speak, actually. I think I'm incapable of human speech. Given the time of death, the victim was already being called into question. It isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all.
oh please, what are you trying to say?
You lot know what we heard. Us lot know what we heard. And it was a loud bang that came from that there room. Now you listen to me. His street sellers' ears are his livelihood.
I don't doubt your ears, sir, but all you can state with certainty is that you heard a noise.
Eh?
Explain yourself then, counsel.
Noise that sounds like a gunshot. Could have been made with this.
Take that!
Something like this. The culprit could have set off one of these to fake a gunshot.
Good gracious, the very fireworks that are sold by the witness.
Now, hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it? My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyway, see?
Not 100 of them together. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. The court can now attest. It sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact. Trying to suggest that someone set one of those fireworks off at the scene. I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day, and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear.
Objection!
Fuck, I can't speak. But even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one in the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Barrick von Zeeks.
One whiff of a match and my firecrackers go pop. See? It's why people like 'em.
I fear for your fingers, young lady.
Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learnt of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a, time bomb. A very useful invention called a pipe bomb.
Good heavens, a bomb!
Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like.
Mr. Naruhodo, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing there may lead to may lead to yet another international incident.
No, wait, it's the whenever you like part that's important.
A timed device.
Yes, exactly, a timed device. Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left.
Your extravagant claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to suggest in any way that a timed device was employed to create the gunshot sound?
timed device. This one I'm not really sure, honestly. Maybe the candles? Maybe?
Take that!
Oh, it is the candles. Alright, sure, yeah. I mean, that kind of makes sense. As the court has already discussed, the tip of one of the candles in this candelabrum has been blown off.
Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, which presumably passed through the victim.
I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible? Why? Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle.
There are? Goodness, yes. But is that not the case? There's also scorching on the victim around the bullet entry wound.
That's right, there was. But we heard earlier. Scorching like that only occurs when the target is at close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun.
I see.
Which means that the scorching of the candle can't possibly be the result of a gun. You're suggesting it came from the fireworks. How can that be, eh? The fact that there's such a visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded. Or, to put it another way, the candle and firecrackers were joined together. I see. Culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at a point partway down the candle. After the killer had left the scene, they just had to wait. The candle slowly burnt down along with the other two, until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud bang. Wow, you really do sound like a crackpot, Naruhodo. And that is how these three witnesses came to believe they'd heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock.
Well, what a plot. We should write that down for a game. That implies that the victim could have died earlier than had been led to believe, the previous day even.
Now, hold your horses. All of us lie here saw the victim going into the building, remember?
I couldn't forget that flame-colored hair even if I wanted to.
The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this. Obviously, anybody can wear a wig. So the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely, wearing the red hairpiece.
What else do you mean to say?
It was the same person who contrived the firework trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. You fucking moron. No, we ain't getting that by that easy. You still have another, like, 5 hours of this case to go. Oh, very impressive, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Kazuma? Do you mean it? Really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you? And you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer. I also noted the lack of time of death in this report, a stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired.
Order! Prosecutor Asogi, we'll fucking hang you for saying that. What on earth do you mean by that statement?
I hear that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today. We cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. Offense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopped watch is just conjecture. But, while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it.
Well, certainly. Would agree with you.
What immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing, and where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? Do you know gaming? The inspector has always carried out his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard.
Even within the yard.
However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent what case the man was pursuing, wouldn't you, my learned friend? I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating. Yeah, I agree, surely. My lord, the defense believes it can explain to the court the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson.
Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. Even though this should be Asogi's job, but whatever. What evidence suggestive the case be investigated?
This?
Take that!
I believe this red hairpiece points to the answer. Yeah, okay. This and... Because they were kind of pointing towards, the Reaper case, but also, this feels also like what he had to be investigating. We might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation.
Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable.
Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League.
The Red-Headed League? Seriously? This is what we're going with today? Right, I thought this case would be a bit more important than that, but alright.
So, you've already worked it out. A mug little smile. Teehee.
What on earth is all this about? This such an extraordinary league of gentlemen? You see, we threw in a reference there, just for you. Just for you at home.
Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception.
Deception of what nature, counsel?
They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact. My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once.
2 redheads? My god, this is unprecedented. We hate redheads.
Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece. So it's very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events.
I concur. We cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored.
Well done, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us at least.
Prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these 2 Red-Headed League conspirators before me, Prosecutor Asogi.
Oh, that little arm movement. I need to get my arms working on my model so that I can, like, copy and mimic arm movements like that, because I speak with my hands a lot. Some of my friends can attest. I speak with my hands a lot, and so, like, arm movement. Oh.
At once, my lord. Very good. 30 minutes recess. Court is adjourned.
To be continued. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yay.
Alright. And that's where we will leave things off for today. We'll do part 2 of, well, part 2 of part 1 of the trial tomorrow. Since we don't seem to have anyone here today, I won't be rating anyone. Not this time. We seem to have a very little audience this time, probably because I streamed out of my normal time completely, which, you know, makes sense. Yeah, see you all next time, and thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.